Hey, everybody. Welcome to Mindset Mondays. As usual, I'm right here at 8 o'clock, ready to go. I'm going to give you guys a few seconds to come on in the room. We got our technology together today, so that's a good thing. But make sure you like, comment, and share. Of course, I don't have my iPad with me, so I can't see who's in the room right now. Um, but yes, guys, come on in, come on in, come on in. I'm going to give it a few seconds and then we're going to go ahead and get started. Going ahead and getting started. I just got the notification and my countdown is up on Instagram. I set a timer for you guys so you knew when it was going to go ahead and start. But yes, it's 8 o'clock and we're going to go ahead and get started on Mindset Mondays tonight. I have a really, really good one for you. I'll share my story on how my weekend was, but I had a very eventful weekend this weekend. I got a lot of information. I went to a Black Women's Leadership Conference. So if anybody is familiar with National Coalition of 100 Black Women, there is a chapter down here in Georgia, and it is a group of powerful women who are all like-minded, and they get together and they initiate change and they help out the causes for women, girls, Black people. Like, it is absolutely amazing. And I met some great connections. I met some amazing women there, and I picked up some nuggets along the way. So I cannot wait to share with you. We are going at it's 8:01, about to be 8:02. So I'm just giving you guys some time to come on in. As you come on in, make sure you say hey to me. So I can see that you're here. So come on in, come on in, come on in. I'm excited to be going live with you today. So again, make sure you let me know that you're here in the comments. And we're going to go ahead and get started shortly. You guys know I like to give you a few moments to come on in the room. You know how we are. It's 8 o'clock on a Monday. And if you don't know anything about me, I will, hey, Sharonda. I will tell you guys, Monday is my favorite day of the week. So I love Monday, everything about it. So this is the kind of the story behind Mindset Monday. Hi, Priscilla. How are you? Oh, guys, Priscilla is a beautiful soul that I met this weekend. It was such a pleasure sitting next to her. So God makes no mistakes. When he set me at the same table with her, I was like, oh, okay. This was ordained. Thanks, God. I heard you. So yeah, nice to meet you over the weekend, Priscilla. All right, guys. It is 8:03. I'm still giving you guys just a few more moments to come on in. If there's one thing I do believe in, is timeliness. So I'm not going to wait too much longer, but I'm just going to chit chat with you guys just to give people the opportunity to tune on in. Again, if you are just now tuning in, make sure you share, make sure you like the video, share it with your friends. It will be a good one. We are talking about the power of your words tonight. Power of your words. And I said this on a previous Mindset Monday, but Mindset Mondays for me are always organic. So I keep coming up with the idea of, oh, Rashia, pre-plan out what Mindset Mondays are going to be about. Make it, just because the planner in me is saying, okay, create a list of how long, what Mondays you're going to talk about what. And that is just something I cannot do. And you know what? We're talking about words today. It's not something that I cannot do. It's something that I will not do. And the reason being is because I believe in giving you fresh, organic content. Before I come on every Mindset Monday, I am praying, I am meditating, I am doing what I need to do to make sure that I am bringing you guys a message that is authentic, and something that's true and near and dear to me, not just because I planned it. So that's kind of how I do Mindset Mondays. So all right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get started. It's 8:04. We got about 30 seconds before 8:05, so let's do it. So Mindset Monday today is talking about the power in your words. I'm a big advocate for speaking, of course, right? You guys know I'm a public speaker. I talk about motivation, self-esteem. I motivate teen girls, been doing it for years. Me and Sharonda, we've been doing it for 10 years next year. So that is something that I have always done. However, one of the things while doing that, I do know is, what we speak over our girls is just so important. And what we speak over our own lives is so important and it's so vital because I know that even a little bit of a nugget of inspiration can either push somebody in the right direction or not, right? So we want to make sure that we're mindful about what we're doing. But over the weekend, like I said, I went to a leadership conference. And at this leadership conference, I was really, really, really inspired. National Coalition of 100 Black Women. I'm in the room with just, oh my goodness, so many esteemed Black women. And it felt good to be in the presence of those women. In that room, what I saw was love. What I saw was sisterhood. What I saw was care. What I saw was education. And it literally filled the room. The energy was beautiful. It was a beautiful experience. I saw smiles. I saw hugs. I saw laughter. I saw concern. I saw tears. I saw embracing. Oh my God, I just saw so many great things. At this leadership conference, we were talking about what we can do as women and what we can do as leaders in order to make a stronger footprint in our community, how we can be advocates for the Black community, how we can just continuously just speak to the different issues that we have within our community and what we can do about it, how we can push our voices forward. So in that, the topic of mental health came up. Right. Mental health is something, again, a lot of people don't want to talk about it. It's one of those things like, okay, what goes on in this house stays in this house. We don't talk about, how we're feeling, especially when it comes to men. We don't talk about how we're feeling. We don't talk about these things. So mental health was a huge component. So there was a panel, and not only did they talk about mental health, they talked about suicide and depression. And talking about this and having this conversation, there were different panelists. There were two. One was a psychologist. Another one was a licensed family mental health therapist. You had a mental health survivor, and then you also had you had a couple of not mental health survivors. You had a couple of suicide survivors, and then you also had a woman who had lost her husband to suicide on the panel. Very powerful panel. Hi, Mom. Oh my God. Very powerful panel. One of the things that I wrote down that stuck with me, and one of the speakers said on the panel, they said, change your words and you change your world. And that stuck with me. It stopped me in my tracks. Like, wow, if you change your words, you can change your world. And I'm like, well, what does that look like? Right? Like we hear that and it's real catchy. It rhymes, it's one of those things that kind of makes you stand at attention. But I thought that needed a little bit more digging into. I thought that meant it just needs a little bit more refining, because we can think about, oh, watch what you say to certain people, or don't say this or don't say that, or if you don't have anything good to say, don't say it at all. Now, while all those things may possibly be true, but what is it exactly that we're talking about? And why are these words just so important? So from my title, you can see me that I said that words have power. Period. They do. If words didn't have power, we would not have anything to stand on. So when we think about the power in our words, what ways do they have power? When you get married, right? You get all nice and you dress up and you spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on a wedding, and you got people flying in from out of town, friends and family. You're paying $50 a plate, which is probably a whole lot more now. I got married 11 years ago. You're paying $50 a plate. You got all these people coming in, and the one big important thing that you're doing, you're standing at the altar in front of all of your family and friends. And one of the most important parts that everybody's looking forward to are the vows, right? The I do's, the I wills, right? They're looking forward to that part. That's the meat and potato of the ceremony, because that is what the husband and wife will be promising one another for the rest of their lives. Those words have some weight in that moment. How about when you go to court or when you get called for jury duty? God, Jesus, let me tell you something, guys. I get called for jury duty no matter where I go. And when I lived in Michigan, I constantly got called for jury duty. Now that I'm down here, I get called for jury duty. But one of the things that they make you do when you do jury duty, just like they have to swear on the stands, you have to swear by that you will have the best honor that you can in being a juror, and you are swearing on your word that you will be a good participant. That's just showing you the strength of words, because without that, what can they hold you to, right? Same thing with a marriage. What can they hold you to politically? Pledge of allegiance, right? When we were all in grade school, we had to stand there and we had to say these words of our commitment to our nation. When we get a new president, the inauguration, what do they have to do? They have to be sworn in. Sworn in by what? Their words, with their hand on a Bible, which is a word, right? So this is just kind of connecting the dots on how the strength of words are, and how strong words matter. Think about grade school. Listen, when you had a secret for your friend and you didn't want her to tell nobody, what did you do? Oh, girl, you better pinky swear you're not gonna tell nobody. Pinky swear, pinky swear. Listen, that was a legal binding contract in elementary school. I don't care what nobody say. That was legally binding. Like, if you pinky swore, okay, if you say I pinky swear, these words aren't going anywhere. Okay, like that is your word. That is power right there. That's a binding contract, and you better not break it. Usually it was broken by lunchtime. Let's just be real. Right? So those are legally binding contracts. Your word too depends on who it's coming from, your parents. My pastor did a really good job, and it's so funny. He talked about the power of words yesterday in church, but he gave a really good example. When your siblings say, Mama said come eat, and you just like, okay, let me go ahead and do what I'm gonna do. And then they don't come down, and you go back to your mom and say, oh, well, Mom, David said he ain't coming down. And then your mom looks at you and says, tell him I said it's time to go and eat. And then you run back up with all this. Now your chest is puffed up, right? Because you like, heck yeah, my mama told me to say it now. So now you go in there and you bust in the room and you say, Mama said, come and eat. Right? So now he kind of moving different. He like, all right, Mama said it, so let me go. Why? Because those words matter. Who those words came from matter. That authority behind those words. Okay, now they're starting to hold some weight. They matter. So broken friendships usually happen too because words and actions don't align. Again, the strength. I'm just highlighting the strength and the power on words. And forgive me because I'm looking at my notes here. I really wanted to make sure I brought this the way I wanted to bring it. And last but finally, definitely not least, our faith lands in words. We literally have a Bible that, and for the Christian faith, I'm going to speak on that. And honestly, other faith and religions too, you usually have some type of doctrine that you hold true on because that word is the way that you live your life. I'm a Christian woman. I believe in Jesus and I live with the Bible and I stand on that word. That word is an example on how I'm supposed to live my life and what I'm supposed to do. So that word is very strong. So as we think about just the power in those words, I wanted to really highlight a couple of scenarios. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to highlight a couple of scenarios in ways that we could usually be stepping in and improving our words so we can have a more effective and better life, and kind of the results on it. So I pay attention to the comments. This is an open conversation, guys. So if you do have some comments, you want to throw something in there, let me know. But one of my, I'll kind of go through one of the pet peeves, and is a very popular thing that I'm hearing people say right now is my broke best friend. And when people say, oh, my broke best friend, they are referring to their children. I don't know where this came from. It just got trendy, I will say, a few years ago when people would say, oh yeah, my broke best friend, my broke best friend, my broke best friend. And when I initially heard people saying that and they were referring to their kids, it made me cringe. And the reason that it made me cringe is because you are literally speaking a word, you're putting an umbrella over something that hasn't even had the opportunity to develop yet. So to call your children broke before they have even had the time to develop, they haven't even had the time to even know what money is, you're cursing it in their life already. You're already putting that umbrella of poverty over them. So you're calling them my broke best friend. No, those words have power. Don't speak that over your children. Hey, Amber, don't speak that over your children. Saying that, you know, people are your kids are your broke best friends. No. Because honestly, you have to look at this too. What if they're broke, then that means you're broke. So whatever you speak over them, you're speaking over yourself because they're children. It's obvious they can't go and fend for themselves, right? But you're speaking that over you too. So when you say my child is broke, then yeah, that's exactly what they will be. Hey, Brittany, everybody's in here tonight. Thank you for the love, guys. But yeah, so when you're saying putting this umbrella over your kids and say, hey, this is my broke best friend, guess what? They're gonna grow up thinking that. They're gonna grow up hearing that. And even at 3 and 4 and 5, you're speaking that to their subconscious. These kids, they really know more than what we think they know. So we have to be very, very careful about the words that we speak over them. Okay. When you are referring to your children, it's so important that you speak nothing but love and positivity. I remember when Jackson was first born, I had a close family member that was talking about my son, and they referred to him as a nigga, and it burned me up. And I instantly jumped in on it and said, hey, don't refer to my son as that. And this person goes, well, that's what the world is going to call him anyway. And I said, exactly. That is the reason why you will not call them that. That is the reason why you will not speak that over my child. My child is not a nigga. My child, first of all, he's a baby. He's an infant. Okay, that's what he is first. But secondly, you will not speak that negativity over my child, right? And I think it's funny because this person would never speak that over their own kids. So I'm like, that was a little different. But listen, so this is what I'm saying. The words that not only you speak, the words that other people speak, you have to be careful. Absolutely, Brittany. They 100% have power. You have to be careful, not only what you say, but what other people say over your children, their teachers, the neighbors, strangers, because they will try it too. Be careful, just like you would protect your son from, or your children from running out in the street in front of a car. Protect them from words as well, right? We have to be the ones that pull that protection on. All right. I'm so passionate about kids. You guys know this because I have a nonprofit organization for kids. I am very much so protectors of children. I very much so want them to be safe. I want them to be nurtured. I want them to be loved because I know the power that our babies have, and we have to protect that. The other phrase that is very, very, very popular that we got to stop it. And I hear women say it. I don't hear men say this. This is one I hear women say. I'm petty. Girl, you know I'm petty. Oh, girl, I was petty. So let me tell you what I did. Guys, all right. Pettiness is not pretty. Pettiness is not something that we want to embrace. Pettiness means that you cannot see the bigger picture, or you cannot get past something that may have been so minute. So you focus on the smallest things that you can focus on just to piss somebody off, or just to get your lick back, or just to say, ha, I told you so. That means that you will focus on literally the lowest of the lowest that you can go just to prove a point. Just to prove a point. So while, again, it may be popular on social media, you may hear people using it and saying, like, oh, girl, I'm petty. I'm this, I'm that. That's not, no. What it does is it's the character flaw. Character flaw. Yes, Amber. Yeah, it's a character flaw. Pettiness is not a good thing. It is not a badge of honor that you want to wear. Pettiness really is low of the barrel. It is the bottom of the barrel. And it says a lot about you, even if that is not you, even if that is not the way you carry yourself. When you pull that on, even for the sake of being trendy, now you're pulling something in over your life to say, hey, I'm willing to accept the bottom of the barrel because I'll go that low just to prove a point. Or I'll take myself from here to all the way down here just to get over here, right? It's one of those things too where you have to start to look at how you view yourself. If you view yourself as low and bottom of the barrel, that's exactly how you'll behave. And when you behave that way, you show other people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. So when you're behaving in a low spot, guess what? You're going to get low energy from other people. You're going to get low expectations from other people. You're going to get bottom of the barrel experiences because this is where you've placed yourself. Right? So I want to bring really that term of I'm petty to the forefront because it's one of those things, again, that really, really shows how low and how deep you'll go just to spite someone else. And again, that's a character flaw. And also, too, it's something that you might want to sit down and start to examine, why am I willing to go that low? What about this situation bothers me that much that will take me that low? Is this something that I might need to explore a little bit further? You guys know that I'm in training to be a licensed professional counselor. I'm halfway through my program. Thank you, Jesus. I'm halfway through my program, right? But the words that we speak, those things that people say and the things that people don't say, those are important. So even though you might be saying I'm petty, there's also things that you're not saying on this. You're also saying, by saying I'm petty, you're also saying that, hey, I don't care about other people's feelings. So that's one to consider. Another new one that I keep hearing coming up is let's argue. Guys, so I hear my younger people saying this one. And what they mean by saying let's argue, they really mean like, let's have a discussion, let's debate. I pull this one up, and especially if you have a teenager in the room, if you have a young adult in the room, or if you have anybody under the age of 25 around you, tell them to come on in, listen up, or make sure you send this video to them to play it back. Let's argue. When you argue with someone, that takes time, that takes energy. It literally physically drains you. So when you say let's argue, when you're arguing with someone, no one is listening. One side is over here, the other side is over here. You both have your guns out and you're like, listen, all I want to do in an argument is win. That's it. But that is very much so different than having a conversation or even having a educated debate with someone. So there is a big difference between the two. So if you want to argue with somebody, sure, you can argue. But if you want to have a conversation with someone, then that's a different story. I'm hearing this term when people say let's argue when it comes down to a stance that they want to take. And when they take that stance, they're ready to stand on it. They are ready to tell everybody the reason why they're on this stance and why this is their opinion. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? But it's not an argument. It's just a conversation. You can have a conversation, and still have a difference of opinions, and you can all still be friends at the end too. Like, it's okay. It's okay. So the let's argue one, that is one that you want to take it and you want to throw it out again, because your words have power. So then when you're in this argument and you're like, why won't this person hear me? I told them how I felt, and every single point that I made was nothing but true. And this could be right. You could have literally spoken all facts. But because you've already spoken the word, let's argue, to someone else, that looks like, oh, this isn't a conversation. This is an argument, and I'm about to argue you down. Some people live for that. So yeah, that one's that one. And this next one that I'm going to touch on, guys, this one, I really wish people would stop saying this one, okay? And again, I am highlighting these things because this is what people are literally saying. So I want to pull these things to the forefront so you can really look at it and examine it and see what it sounds like. And I want to give you some context behind it. Somebody tells a joke that's hilarious, right? Girl, I'm dead. Gosh, guys. I'm dead is a big power play on words that a lot of people are using right now. So they say it when something is very funny, when they're just like, oh my God, I can't take it no more. Like, this was so funny. Basically, it's so funny I passed out, so I'm dead. This is what they're saying, right? But there's power in your words. Okay. And I say it to you like this because when you think about what that is, when you think about what you just said over yourself, you are burying yourself before it even has a time to manifest. Like you are literally planting that seed. You're speaking that over your life and you're pushing that into existence when you say that. And this is coming from here. I'll give you an example too. Tupac. I love Tupac. I was a big fan. Even as a kid, I listened to him. But if you go back and you listen to his Machiavelli album, if you go back and you listen to his lyrics, Tupac killed himself so many times before it actually happened. He literally spoke about being killed. He spoke about being it, like what his life afterlife would be like, whether he was going to heaven or hell. Like, he spoke as if he was already passed away. He did it so many times. So it's no surprise to me that he went down early, because you've spoken this thing over your life. Words have power. Guys, they have power. I'm also speaking from someone who has lost two brothers very, 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 very young. So when I hear someone, especially my youngsters, saying something like, I'm dead, it's not a laughing matter at all. That's the real thing. Be careful what you speak over yourself. Again, let's go back to the examples that I said at the beginning. Your words have power, right? When you go to court, when you get married, when you do something of importance, you have to speak words so it's true. Right? Otherwise, they have no merit. But because you've spoken these words, Now it's true. Same thing goes in real life situations. So when you say stuff like, ah, ha, ha, I'm dead, don't plant that seed on yourself. Don't plant that seed on yourself. And because what you're also doing is you're speaking to your subconscious. Okay. Those ideas and stuff, the projects you've been trying to work on, you're trying to get a better job, you're trying to do amazing things. But when you turn around and say something that like I'm dead, it's like, wait a minute. How can a dead person get a raise at her job? How can that happen? How is that true? Right? So you have to be careful what you speak over yourself. A couple of other ones that I want to bring up that aren't necessarily so dramatic, but these are the subtle ones that have power that we might not be realizing. So you ever been somewhere and you get dressed up and you put on your best stuff? You got your, listen, I think all girls need pearls, so I wear them all the time. But anyway, you put your pearls on, you're looking good. You know you look good. And then you walk out the door. You see someone and they give you a compliment and they're like, oh my God, you look so nice. And you like, oh, this old thing. Oh, no. Oh. So you think you're being modest, right? But by saying, oh, this old thing, right? So what you're doing is not accepting the energy that you put on yourself because you made yourself look beautiful. But now when you're getting that positive energy because you put this work into your look, now you're killing it off. Because you're pushing back every compliment that you get. Or if someone compliments you, you try to find something negative to counteract it. Or be like, oh, your dress is so pretty. Man, I had to go to 42 different stores to find it. And then when I got to the store, I had to call the manager so I could even get it on the sale price that it was supposed to be. It was such a headache. Right? You literally just took something that was supposed to be positive, something that was supposed to uplift you, and you completely turned it around. And usually people do that because it's a subconscious thing. So it's something within you where that spotlight makes you feel uncomfortable. Hi, Janae. That spotlight makes you feel uncomfortable. So what you're doing is you're taking it and you're turning it around to face something else. Okay. I'm not saying that you're a bad person for that, but I want to bring that to the forefront so you know what's happening. Okay. You are given a light, but then you start to shrink yourself because a lot of times we've been told that in order to make other people feel good, we shrink ourselves. No. So I'm here to unravel that. And tell you that's not what we do. You never, ever, ever have to shrink yourself to make somebody else feel good. If you have to do that, or if you feel like you're having to do that, that means that there's probably some trauma that it's time to go ahead and take a step in, and we got to unravel that trauma, and we got to start to heal that trauma, and we got to start to heal that place in ourselves, because you should never have to shrink yourself to make someone else feel good. Or if somebody gives you a compliment, stand on that compliment. You deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve to have people speak nice to you. You deserve to have people compliment you. Stand on that. Stand on that. So that was another one. Here's another one that I hear too. And it's subtle, but you hear it a lot. When you're like, hey girl, I want to plan a girls trip and we want to go here. I want to do this. I want to do that. Are you down? Oh, girl, I can't do that. I'm broke. Wait a minute. You what? I'm broke. Listen, again, this is the second time I'm touching on this broke subject tonight, okay? I talked about it when people say my broke best friend. I'm bringing it right back around when it's coming to you. When you claim that you are broke, that's exactly what you will be. As a man thinketh, so is he. I know you guys have heard that. As a man thinketh, so is he. So that basically means is whether you think you're broke or whether you don't think you're broke, you're right. Okay. Whether you feel that you can do it or whether you don't feel that you can do it, either way, you're right. Okay. So as you think of yourself, so are you. Even if you don't have the money to go, you know what? Hey girl, my budget doesn't allow for that at this time, but here's what I can do. Right. It's not claiming that you're broke, but what you're still being honest and saying, hey, this trip is not in my budget. It doesn't make you broke because the trip isn't in your budget. You understand what I'm saying? There are two totally different mindsets wrapped around that. Yeah, it's very hard to change that mindset. It's very hard, very, very hard. It's two different things wrapped around that, right? Yeah, you might not have the money right now, and that's okay, but that doesn't necessarily make you broke. It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't make you broke. This one here. This one is a big one. Big one. When you speak negatively about something in the future and you don't know what the results are. Let me kind of break that one down. I shared this one a few weeks ago. I went to, you guys, you'll hear me going to a lot of networking events and all of that. That's just because of what I do. So I was at a networking event and there was someone there from Gwinnett County, and they were giving us lots of grant information for our businesses. They were letting us know what government funding was available. And there was a business owner there, and they took a look at the paperwork. And when she looked at it, she said, that's not going to work. This person was just hell bent on, I don't know what the problem was. I don't know whether she just had a bad day that day. Maybe she had a previous bad experience with the county. I don't know what the deal was, but she was hell bent on everything that came out of this representative's mouth. She was going to shoot it down. So when we're getting told about this just magnificent grant funding that's available, no, that's not going to work. Okay, you're right. It's not going to work because you've already spoken into existence that it's not going to work before you've even tried. So I literally, in that moment, I had to shift in my seat. Okay. So I literally shifted. She was to my right. I shifted and I turned to the left because I literally felt her energy and I couldn't take it. Right. Because what you're doing, I see what you're doing. You're because of whatever experience that you've had, you want to kill it for the rest of the table. But what I'm not about to allow for you to do is kill something over here that hasn't even had the chance to manifest yet. That may be your experience, but that doesn't mean that's going to be everyone's experience. So yeah, I'm not going to allow you to speak that, right? So this is what I'm talking about, when you can kill off something before, or you speak negatively on it before it has even had the chance to manifest. Or have you ever had to have a conversation with someone and you're like, I know as soon as I go in and have this conversation, they're going to say this, they're going to say that, and it's going to be over. But what if they don't? What if they don't? So what we're telling ourselves, this is going to happen because I know that this is going to happen. Unless you are literally a psychic and you have been gifted with the insight of vision, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen, but I will tell you what will happen because you are already speaking what you feel is going to happen over it. That's exactly what's going to happen. You understand? Your words literally have power. You have the power to change a situation just because of what you say. So when you wake up on a Monday and you're like, it's Monday. The drivers are crazy. It's going to be a crappy day at work today. You are right. That's exactly what's going to happen. But if you wake up on a Monday and you say, you know what? Today's going to be a good day. I'm happy about this today. Listen, no matter who I get behind on I-75, I'm going to be patient with them today. Listen, because they got somewhere to go and I got somewhere to go. But I'm going to be patient with them today, right? So you have literally the power to change that mindset. You just have to speak it and you just have to start saying it. As Brittany mentioned, it's hard to change that negative mindset. It takes some work. So with that being said, of course, guys, I told you that I'm in school for mental health therapy. I would be crazy if I didn't bring something to you. So I'm going to give you a few tips, and I'm going to give you just a few pointers on how to start to change those negative words into positive ones so it can have a positive result for your life. Number one is acceptance. Acceptance. I wrote this one down too from the conference, and I really want to share this with you. When you wake up loving where you are, you have to wake up loving where you are so you can get to where you want to be. So you have to wake up loving exactly who you are, where you are, so you can actually get to where you want to be. Okay. You won't get to the next step of where you want to get to if you can't appreciate what you have right in front of you. Okay. So that's number one, acceptance. And then two, you have to also accept the fact that, wait a minute, I may not have been treating myself the nicest way. That those thoughts that I have in my subconscious may not have been the most positive ones. Those thoughts that I have been just wrestling and tussling around with about my spouse, they probably not that good. And they probably need some improvement. I could really be thinking nicer about my husband. I could really be thinking nicer about my mom or my sister or my friend, right? Who might be going through something. It's acceptance, because you have to accept something in order to fix it. Because if you don't accept it, then okay, how can you fix it? How can you fix it? So that moment of honesty, that moment of truth, you have to be able to sit in that, and you have to be able to be honest with yourself so you can pull out the ways that, all right, you may not have been speaking the most positive words, or that could have been detrimental. Or, you know what, my kid, I could have said that a lot better to them. No, they didn't deserve that. Right? That's acceptance. That's the first one. All right. Number two, affirmations. I am big on affirmations, guys, because words have power. If we was playing a drinking game, I've said that about 10,000 times. Now you probably be drunk right now. Okay. If you count how many times I said words have power, but I'm saying it because words have power. All right. And I really want to drive this home for you guys. Affirmations, what they are I am statements. Okay. When you want to affirm something over yourself, it often comes with an I am statement. So I am beautiful. I am educated. I am smart. I am loving. I am accepting of my peers. I love my parents, right? So you're going to start with the I am statement and put something positive behind it, right? Now, for some people doing this every day, they're like, wait a minute. That's a big one. Brittany, yeah, you are big too on affirmations, I'm telling you. Sometimes that's hard for people to pull up something positive to say about themselves because for so long, you have been beating yourself up. For so long, you have been shrinking yourself out of the spotlight. For so long, people have been talking to you any kind of way, or maybe no one has ever poured light into you. So it's now time for you to start pouring that light into yourself. Because again, I say this to you guys all the time. The one voice that you hear most often is your own. The one that you hear right here, that is a voice that you hear most often. So that is the one that matters most before anybody else's voice matters, right? So this behavior may be hard to adopt, to say, I am beautiful every day, especially when you don't feel it or when no one's ever told it to you. Yeah, that's hard. That's really hard. So with that being said, I challenge you this week, come up with one affirmation. It's Monday, guys. So come up with one affirmation that you can literally say to yourself every day. Come up with one affirmation. Let it be an I am statement and let it be something positive behind it. Even if it is something or you don't, you're like, what am I going to say? What goal is it that you're trying to reach at work this week? Okay. Is it, I need to have X amount of books done by Friday at 5. Okay. I am finishing this assignment by Friday at 5 p.m. Right. Make it specific to you. Okay. If it's weight loss, guys, I am losing weight this week by counting my calories. Right. You can say, if you don't feel beautiful, how about that one? If you don't feel beautiful, even if it's something negative, take it and flip it. I am beautiful, even if you're feeling real ugly. If nobody has ever told you that you're beautiful, start to tell yourself. And then I'll put an extra challenge on it. Not only do you tell yourself you're beautiful, start to tell it to other people and watch how easy that gets. Remember last week when I talked about the 5 habits of healthy self-esteem and I said, speak well of yourself and other people? That ties right back into this. Those affirmations, those I am statements. Start to speak them over yourself and start to spread them out to other people. Try that for the next 7 days and let me know how you feel. Yes, I am the healthiest I have ever been. Speak that. Speak that over yourself. Speak it. It matters. It definitely matters, guys. So affirmations, I am really, 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 really big on that. So again, the first tip that I gave you guys was acceptance. The second tip that I gave you guys were affirmations. The third tip that I'm going to give you is gratitude. Gratitude. Guys, you have to be able to appreciate what you have in order to gain more. If you want to have a more positive vocabulary, if you want to be able to speak more positively over yourself, over your life, over your children's life, start to give thanks. Start to give gratitude. Start to say thanks. You know what? I'm thankful for being able to wake up today. Not even a material thing. Not even a material thing. I'm thankful for being able to stretch and yawn. Do you know how many people cannot stretch and yawn? Do you know how many people literally don't have functionality of their limbs and their arms and their breathing because something has happened? The smallest things that we take for granted, the ability to be able to speak, the ability to be able to hear, the ability to be able to touch, run, jump, and play. Guys, start to give thanks for those things. Start to give thanks. Whatever your religion is, again, I can speak to the Christian experience. Thank you, God, for waking me up this morning. Even if you didn't do anything else, you woke me up because you didn't have to. So many people didn't, right? Thank you for waking me up this morning. All right. Even if you're not spiritual, if you're not religious at all, right? I'm thankful for the food that I have in my refrigerator because world hunger is real, right? It's literally somebody out here still in 2023 going hungry. But even if all you have is a pack of ramen noodles or peanut butter and jelly downstairs, guess what? You're not starving. You will survive today. If Jiffy and Smucker's got something to do with it, you're gonna survive today. That's something to be thankful for. Guys, give gratitude. And one of the important things about gratitude, when you show gratitude, it opens the door for you to receive more reasons to give gratitude. So when you're able to accept the things that you do have, you can open the door for the things that you don't have and the things that you do want, because you're being a good steward of what it is that you do have. You're thankful and appreciative for the things that you do have. You're going to get more from that. So yes, I'm bringing it full circle, guys. Acceptance, affirmations, gratitude. Those are my 3 steps and 3 tips of starting to speak more powerful and more positive words. I really, really, really want you to pull this in, guys. Because literally when you do change your words, you can change your world. 1000% wholly believe that. 1000% believe that. The other thing that I am pulling up for you guys, as you know, I do anonymous questions. So I let you guys ask me any questions that you want to ask. All of your questions are anonymous. I did post the link on my Instagram. So I don't know if anybody saw it or not, but I'm just double checking to see if we have any responses. Okay, no. So nobody asked me any questions, but I will drop this link in the comments because I want you to be able to ask them. Give me a second, guys. And I want you to be able to anonymously ask them. So give me a second. And please forgive me because I know y'all hear my baby upstairs just playing around. He took advantage of the fact that his father just left out the door. He's like, ooh, I can play around now. Hold on. Oh, I'm clicking every button but the one that I'm supposed to click. All right. All right, guys. So I am posting this in the comments right now. You can go right ahead and follow that link. So if you do have any questions about tonight that you want it to be private, please go right ahead and ask me. If you do have any comments or questions that you just want to kick it, and you don't necessarily want to put them in the Google forms, you can just ask me now right here in the comments. Just want to comment. You're freaking beautiful girl. Brittany, thank you. Thank you, honey. And look, I have not seen those beautiful, beautiful babies that you guys have. Like, seriously, the prettiest little girls, too. I just love it. So thank you, Brittany. And I'm sending it right back to your pretty self, too. And them pretty, pretty babies you got. Love it. So I'm leaving the floor open just for conversation and questions, anything that you guys might have for me tonight. I'm so happy that we were able to have this conversation, guys, because like I said, just talking about just the words that you speak, that stuff is so important. So very much so important. We have to make sure that we're speaking more positively. We have to make sure that we're speaking those words. Because too, you know what? Another thing that makes me think about it, since we're talking about it now, it's just like this. We wonder when things start to go awry, in our lives, and we're like, oh, I don't understand why this is happening, or I don't understand why, this person won't respect me, or I don't understand why these things just keep happening back to back to back to back. How are you speaking to those things? How are you speaking to those situations? Are you speaking to them in fear? Or are you speaking to them in confidence? Because that matters too. One of the taglines that I put under this post was, does your yes mean yes, or does your yes mean maybe? This is what I'm talking about in this. So it's one of the things that makes a difference. How powerful is your yes? Because little do you know, yes and no, those are complete sentences. So again, the power in your words. When you say yes, then it's yes. But if you say no, then let it be no. But let your yes be yes and let your no be no. Those are literally complete sentences, guys. Now, the strength of that is going to be dependent on if you're following through or not. So just like, well, with my 3-year-old, listen, everybody with kids know if I say, Jackson, go to bed, and he knows if I'm playing or not. But if I use that stern voice and I'm like, go to bed. Oh yeah, that no meant no. He going to bed. That means no. Or even think about when we were kids, right? Same thing. Same thing. But does your yes mean yes? Or does it mean maybe? Or does your no mean no? So that's that. All right, guys. I wanted to give you the opportunity to ask a few questions. I did not have any questions that popped up in my Mindset Monday box. So I will go ahead and I'm not going to hold you. I'm going to let you guys go. But before I go, I'm going to say this. Please make sure you take a visit over to my website. Right now, I have 2 books that are on sale. One is called Goals, Grind, and Gratitude, and the other one is called It's the Gratitude for Me. You guys see me taking a look because I'm copying the link to my website so I can drop it in here for you. So what they are gratitude journals. I talked a lot about gratitude tonight, right? And the importance of having gratitude and the importance of showing gratitude. I break this down in my 90-day resource tool for women and for teen girls. So it's important. It was important for me to speak to both women and teen girls because that conversation has to be different. However, there is a journal for teens and then there is a journal for adults. So the teens one is called It's the Gratitude for Me. The adult one is called Goals, Grind, and Gratitude. So what it does is it walks you through 90 days of expressing gratitude. The gratitude journal is on sale right now. It's $20. I'll make sure that I get that sent out to you right away. I'm so excited to really not only take this message and help you implement it with this tool. I created this tool. It is a very, very good one. I've been getting really good responses from it, and I would love to see how it affects you, and I would love to get your responses on it too. So if you head over to my website, RashiaNicole.com. They're $20. Again, we eat $20, right? But it's $20 to go ahead and do that. The other thing that I have for you on my website right now, if you scroll down on the homepage, it's called the Gym Goals Workbook. So I have a free downloadable workbook for you right now. On that workbook, it is a step-by-step workbook that helps you break down and achieve your goals. So what it does is it helps you recognize what your goals are. It walks you through how to achieve those goals. It asks you questions that make you challenge yourself. And I really, really, really want you to take whatever goal that you have this week, whatever goal that you have for over, even if it's over the next 6 months, take a look at that workbook, download it. Brittany said, I got it. Thank you. Take a look at that workbook, download it, and I want to see how it works for you. I really want to receive you guys' feedback on that. Because I want to know how it's working. I want some feedback for you guys. I've had it, I've given it to my students in my mentoring program. They loved it, but I made one just for women to go ahead and take a look and really digest. So I want you guys to see that. Also, what you'll see on my website is my schedule. So you'll see all the Mindset Monday dates so you can put them on your calendar. I'm doing this every single Monday, guys. Every single Monday. I will be back for you. The other thing that you will see on my website, I have been asked a lot. For whatever reason, I made one video on TikTok, it blew up, and I literally have 1.2 million views on it right now. So my inbox has been blowing up, and people are like, Rashia, how can I get mentored? I want this mentoring. I need coaching. Help a sister out. And I'm like, okay, I got you. If you go on my website, click on greatness, you're going to see a tab that says coaching and mentoring. If you are interested in coaching or mentoring, I am doing a masterclass, and I have one for women and then I have one for young women. So I have one that's specifically for young women between the ages of 18 to 21. Give me a second here, guys. What? Come here, cool. Sorry about that. Somebody decided to join this live. So I have one that is for women between the ages of 18 to 21. 18 and 21, that is that foundational age where they need help. I've had so many young ladies reach out to me, especially on TikTok, and they're saying, Rashia, I don't know how to do. I don't know about finances. I don't know about credit cards. I don't know what schools to go to. I don't know about any of these things. Please help. So I have a e-course that will be available to them in January of 21. All you do is click on it and it says courses for young adults. And then I also have a course for women as well. We're going to be talking about healing the inner child, getting over imposter syndrome, writing out your goals, establishing your goals, and really making them happen. So that's what we'll be doing on that masterclass. So please make sure that you sign up because I am limiting the spots that I am taking for the classes. All right. So wait, as you can see, I'm a mom of a 3-year-old. So there are limits to how many people I'll be taking in those classes. So please make sure that you sign up for them. All right, guys. That is it. I will catch you next Monday. Make sure you stay in contact with me. Make sure you keep in touch with me. I would love to keep in touch with you guys throughout the week. So with that being said, you guys have a beautiful, beautiful Monday, and I'll catch you guys next week. Bye.